Icky Mr Fox by Icky Pen. It was warm and quiet in Mr Rabbit's burrow. Mr Rabbit and Mr Mole were enjoying their afternoon elderflower tea. The tea was fragrant and hot. Mr Rabbit carefully blew at some tea in his saucer. Mr Mole wasn't careful. He sipped the tea too quickly, burned his little tongue and rubbed it with his paws. Meanwhile, above the burrow, Icky Mr Fox was up to mischief. He wanted to dig down with his big shovel to bully Mr Rabbit and eat him for dinner. In the burrow, Mr Rabbit and Mr Mole were still having tea. Mr Mole blew at the tea in his saucer, and Mr Rabbit huffed right into his teacup. Above, Icky Mr Fox was already digging down. Below, Mr Mole brought out his best tea biscuits. Mr Rabbit blew cool air at Mr Mole's saucer, and Mr Mole huffed right into Mr Rabbit's teacup. Mr Fox was getting closer. Shovel! Mr Mole brewed some more tea. Jolly Mr Rabbit sipped the tea too quickly and burned his tongue. He rubbed it with his paws. Startled Mr Mole threw his teacup in the air and it landed on his head. Mr Fox was very close. Below, Mr Rabbit huffed right into Mr Mole's snout, while Mr Mole rubbed his teacup with his paws. Something made a loud cracking sound, and down fell a very dusty and tired Mr Fox. "Tea?" asked Mr Mole. Suddenly the ceiling collapsed and a pile of rocks fell on Mr Fox. He couldn't make a single move. Mr Fox was trapped. Mr Mole and Mr Rabbit decided to make a quick escape. Mr Hedgehog was standing at the edge of the hole in the ground. Mr Rabbit spotted him and hopped over. "What's down there?" asked Mr Rabbit. "Some kind of scary gobbledygook creature," said Mr Hedgehog. "I keep throwing rocks down there and it just says moo." It was a beautiful night, and the moon was big and bright. The forest was quiet, with just Mr Owl hooting somewhere far away. "Owl!" A strange shadow appeared and vanished in the trees. In the morning, the forest animals found their village in a mischievous mess. Someone threw apples and mushrooms and left mud all over Mr Hedgehog's house. Someone ate all the biscuits and drank all the milk at Mr Crocodile's house. Fish broke Mr Bear's precious model railway into pieces. Worst of all, Mr Mole was missing and nobody could find him. Mr Rabbit had seen this mischief before. He had to go and find his friend. He walked east until he saw Mr Owl sleeping in a tree. "Ahem," he coughed to get attention. "Mr Owl." Mr Owl opened his eyes. The sleepy owl told Mr Rabbit that last night he saw a fox running under his tree with a big bag. Mr Rabbit thanked Mr Owl. Now he knew exactly where to find his friend. He walked through the strange silly bear's forest. He had to walk across an old wobbly wooden bridge. A few planks of wood even fell into the river, but the brave rabbit didn't. Step by step, little by little, he crossed to the other side. Mr Rabbit came to a big hole in the ground. It was the tunnel to Icky Mr Fox's. The tunnel looked deep and very, very scary. Mr. Rabbit had no time to be scared. He took a breath and jumped in. He walked further and further, deeper and deeper. And came to a big room. Icky Mr. Fox was snoring on the bed. By the bed was a cage with a few peculiar orange rabbits and one sad Mr. Mole. Icky Mr. Fox. Yay! They shouted in excitement, almost waking up the naughty fox. Shh! Warned Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit quietly opened the cage, and in a second the rabbits were gone. The two friends hugged and nervously ran for the exit. Icky Mr. Fox woke up. He saw the empty cage. Sleepy and annoyed, he sprinted out of the room. In seconds, he was right behind the two friends. He chased them right to the river, but just as the two friends jumped across, dozens of orange rabbits rained down from the sky. Shocked and befuddled, Icky Mr. Fox could barely avoid the falling rabbits. Angry and defeated, he ran back as fast as the two good friends returned home. The whole village was overjoyed. The animals celebrated. They danced all night. Even Mr. Owl couldn't sleep. Mr. Owl